In the glamorous world of Hollywood, there are power couples and then there are institutions. For over a decade, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have embodied the gold standard of celebrity relationships. Witty Instagram captions, red carpet perfection, sweet family moments. They've made us laugh, swoon, and believe in fairy tale love stories. But behind the sparkle of designer gowns and blockbuster deals, something much darker has been unfolding. Something that's now exploded into full view, and the fallout could change the way we view fame forever. This is not just another tabloid scandal. It's not about who wore what or who followed whom on social media. This is about real-world consequences, legal filings, creators allegedly targeted, celebrities finally breaking their silence, and a wave of public backlash that not even the most polished PR team can contain. The carefully controlled image of Hollywood's golden couple is unraveling, and the internet is watching every single thread come loose. So what went wrong? It all began quietly, a whisper here, a DM there. Small content creators, podcasters, YouTubers, Instagram commentators started hinting at something unsettling. That behind the scenes, legal notices were being sent, videos taken down, emails received that allegedly came from attorneys representing either Blake Lively or Ryan Reynolds. At first, many brushed it off, after all celebrities often take steps to protect their image. But then more creators came forward, some independently, some anonymously, all claiming a strikingly similar experience, that they were being pressured to take down content or silence their commentary. And this is where things took a dramatic turn. Because these weren't defamatory videos, at least not according to the creators. These were opinion pieces, recaps of court filings, public speculation based on public figures, the kind of content that makes up a massive chunk of today's online culture. And for many, the actions allegedly taken by Blake and Ryan's team didn't just feel protective. They felt punitive, like a warning shot across the bow of internet free speech. But here's the thing about the internet: once you try to silence one voice, 10 more rise up. That's exactly what happened. A domino effect ensued. Legal experts began weighing in. Civil rights advocates chimed in. Other celebrities, while choosing their words carefully, started to subtly distance themselves. A few even spoke out about the dangers of using legal pressure as a weapon against commentary. And soon the conversation shifted from gossip to principle. Because this isn't just about one couple. It's about a cultural clash between two worlds: the traditional image-conscious celebrity machine and the raw, unfiltered, rapidly evolving world of digital creators. The old rules are colliding with the new realities, and the result, a media explosion with real consequences. Blake Lively, once praised for her elegance and authenticity, is now under scrutiny for what many see as excessive legal tactics. Ryan Reynolds, the king of relatable humor and viral marketing genius, is suddenly being viewed through a different lens, one that questions whether the image of the charming everyman holds up when legal intimidation enters the chat. Now let's be clear, as of this writing, there is no court ruling against Blake or Ryan. No criminal charges, no confirmed misconduct in the legal sense. But the court of public opinion, that's a very different arena, and it's one where perception often matters more than proof. In that court, people are asking big questions. Why go after small creators instead of addressing the controversy openly? Why not clarify, explain, or even laugh it off as Ryan so famously has in the past? Why has there been such resounding silence from the couple themselves? And perhaps most telling of all, why are fellow celebrities who once couldn't praise Blake and Ryan enough suddenly quiet, cautious, or cryptic in their support? This isn't just about losing fans. This is about losing control of the narrative. And for a couple who've built their careers not just on talent but on the power of their story, that's devastating. Even more troubling is what this signals for the rest of the entertainment industry. If celebrities begin routinely using legal tools to silence online commentary, what happens to independent journalism, to criticism, to those who speak truth, to power, even in flawed, imperfect ways? This controversy has raised alarms that go far beyond Hollywood. It's forcing us all to reckon with the fragile balance between privacy and public interest, between reputation management and censorship. And in doing so, it's exposing how vulnerable creators, especially those without institutional backing, truly are in the face of celebrity influence. Blake and Ryan are no strangers to media storms. They've survived rumors, headlines, and Hollywood politics. But this time it feels different. This time it's not just a temporary flare-up. It's a sustained challenge to their integrity, not just as actors but as public figures, who once seemed to embrace the messiness of fame with humility and humor. So now the question isn't whether the controversy is real, it absolutely is. The question is, what will they do about it? Will they double down on legal strategy? Will they break their silence with a carefully crafted public statement, or will they do what many believe is the only way forward: acknowledge the harm, recalibrate, and reconnect with the very audience they risk losing? In this exclusive multi-part series, we'll take you deep inside the unraveling of Hollywood's golden couple, from the first warning signs to the explosive creator backlash, the industry-wide consequences, and the uncertain road that lies ahead. Because when the cameras stop flashing and the public turns skeptical, all that remains is truth, and how you choose to respond to it. At first glance, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds have always seemed like Hollywood's most unshakable couple. Charming, witty, and committed to family life, they've built a public image that's hard to criticize. But what happens when cracks start appearing in that seemingly perfect foundation? The answer, as it turns out, is a legal nightmare that has now escalated into a full-blown public relations crisis, one that's drawing in celebrities, fans, and legal experts from across the globe. In the last few months, the media landscape has shifted dramatically for the couple. What began as a few quiet murmurs about overreaching legal action has evolved into a loud and complex narrative involving court filings, defamation claims, and now the most shocking development yet: public responses from fellow celebrities. What was once a private matter is now a boiling public issue, and people are taking sides. The turning point came when multiple content creators on social media platforms started sharing that they had received legal notices allegedly tied to Blake Lively's legal team. These creators, most of whom were discussing celebrity news, were stunned. The alleged legal threats were seen by many as excessive, prompting growing backlash. What surprised fans wasn't just the fact that legal action had been taken, it was how many creators came forward seemingly independently claiming similar experiences. Almost overnight, the narrative began to shift. No longer was this about defending personal reputation. Now it looked like a coordinated attempt to silence public discourse, and in Hollywood, where image is everything, such a perception can be devastating. Ryan Reynolds, usually known for his playful social media antics and his Deadpool persona, remained noticeably silent. In the past, Ryan's charm had been an asset in weathering minor storms, but this time the silence spoke volumes. Many began to wonder whether the legal strategy was backfiring and doing more damage than good. What followed was a tidal wave of public curiosity. Internet forums, Reddit threads, and TikTok videos exploded with speculation. What were Blake and Ryan trying to hide? Why target creators with relatively small followings? And perhaps most importantly, what kind of precedent was this setting for freedom of expression online? Still, there was a group of people noticeably quiet throughout all of this: Hollywood celebrities. Despite the growing attention, most high-profile voices remained on the sidelines until now. In a surprising twist, multiple well-known figures, both in and outside Hollywood, have started to comment on the controversy. While none have directly attacked Blake or Ryan, their words have made it clear many are uncomfortable with the direction things have taken. One actor, speaking anonymously through a trusted journalist, noted, "When you're a public figure, criticism comes with the territory. If you start threatening everyone who talks about you, it sets a scary precedent for the entire industry." Another star, a fellow Marvel alum, posted cryptically on Instagram, "Transparency is the best PR, not lawsuits." Though no names were mentioned, fans quickly speculated that this was a subtle reference to Ryan Reynolds and the ongoing situation. Even outside of Hollywood, popular authors, influencers, and journalists have begun weighing in. Some are defending the couple's right to protect their privacy. Others, however, argue that the methods being used cross a line legally and ethically. It's important to note that no court has yet ruled on the validity of the legal actions, and Blake and Ryan's team has maintained that they are only protecting their personal lives and public image, but the optics are becoming increasingly difficult to manage. At the center of the controversy is the blurred line between privacy and public interest. Blake and Ryan, like all celebrities, live in the spotlight by choice. But in an era dominated by digital content, YouTubers and podcasters often act as modern-day tabloids. What was once a role filled by glossy magazines is now carried out by independent creators, and many feel their right to comment on public figures is being threatened. Meanwhile, fans have started questioning the very authenticity of the couple's well-curated public image. Have we all been fooled by clever PR and sharp social media strategy? Were there signs all along that we ignored? One viral TikTok video went as far as compiling past interviews, clips, and red carpet moments to suggest that the couple's perfect marriage was more performance than reality. While these claims remain speculative, they've certainly added fuel to the fire to make matters even more intense. A prominent legal commentator recently posted a deep dive analysis of the situation, breaking down the court filings and explaining the potential outcomes. The video garnered millions of views, pushing the story into even wider public view. At this point, the silence from Blake and Ryan has become a story in itself. While it's common for legal teams to advise clients not to comment publicly, the absence of any response has only heightened public curiosity and suspicion. More creators are now speaking out, sharing screenshots, emails, and what they claim are threats they received after discussing the couple. Though no direct confirmation has come from Blake or Ryan's legal team, the consistency of these accounts is hard to ignore, and now the celebrity voices are beginning to echo those of the public. This once private storm has now grown into a full-on Hollywood spectacle, and it's showing no signs of slowing down. While Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are undoubtedly two of Hollywood's most bankable stars, even the most beloved public figures can face turbulence when controversy strikes. And in this case, the repercussions are rippling far beyond social media and legal filings. They're beginning to touch the very core of the couple's professional empires. Ryan Reynolds has long been the face of some of the most successful franchises and marketing campaigns in recent memory. From Deadpool to Mint Mobile, his brand has always combined humor with authenticity. Blake Lively, meanwhile, is known for her fashion-forward image, her critically acclaimed performances, and her influence in luxury markets, often partnering with brands like Gucci and L'Oreal. Together, they've cultivated a powerful brand identity built on trust, charm, and relatability. But in the aftermath of the legal controversy, insiders say that brand executives are watching the situation very closely, and in some cases quietly reevaluating. According to reports from industry sources, at least two major companies have paused upcoming promotional campaigns that were previously expected to feature either Blake or Ryan. These aren't cancellations necessarily, but strategic delays while public opinion unfolds. One executive speaking anonymously stated this kind of controversy, especially when it involves legal action against creators, is just not something brands want to be associated with right now. It's too unpredictable. This chilling effect is not unprecedented. We've seen similar patterns before. Celebrities become embroiled in public drama, and even before any verdict is reached, the ripple effects start undermining years of professional goodwill. The entertainment world moves quickly, and perception often carries more weight than fact. But it's not just the brand world that's feeling uneasy. Hollywood itself has started whispering, and in this industry, whispers can become shouts almost overnight. One casting insider shared that while Ryan remains a top pick for roles, certain studios are watching the public sentiment before announcing any big deals. You have to understand, the mood has shifted, they explained. Studios don't want distraction around a release. If your star is trending for the wrong reasons, it can affect everything: ticket sales, press tours, even award campaigns. Another agent with ties to both television and film revealed that some talent are hesitant to appear alongside the couple in public press events right now, simply because of how volatile the topic has become online. The fear isn't that Blake or Ryan have done something illegal. As of now, everything they're reportedly involved in is civil litigation and not criminal. The fear is about image, about audience perception. And in today's Hollywood, image is everything. Even among fellow actors, there seems to be a subtle shift in tone. While no one has launched direct attacks, and many likely never will, there's a growing sense that the industry is distancing itself. That's not because people have turned against them, but because staying neutral sometimes feels safer than being supportive. An entertainment reporter who frequently covers red carpets noted when Blake and Ryan show up, they're still greeted with smiles and camera flashes. But behind the scenes, people are cautious. It's like no one wants to say the wrong thing. And then there's the press, a space that used to celebrate the couple's every move. Blake's maternity fashion, Ryan's hilarious Father's Day posts, their banter on Twitter, it all used to generate glowing headlines. Now even traditionally friendly media outlets are approaching with a more critical tone, choosing words carefully and often including disclaimers about the ongoing controversy. Interestingly, the public relations machinery that once served as their greatest strength now seems to be working against them. For years, Blake and Ryan controlled their narrative better than almost anyone else in Hollywood. They were funny, polished, and savvy, often responding to rumors with grace or humor. But now their silence is noticeable, their absence from certain events is glaring, and their reluctance to address the situation directly is creating more confusion than clarity. One PR expert commented in a viral LinkedIn post, "The biggest mistake in any public crisis is letting others tell your story before you do, right?" Now YouTubers and TikTokers are driving the narrative, and the couple's silence is only making their voices louder. For a couple that has spent over a decade crafting one of the most enviable public relationships in Hollywood, this is unfamiliar ground. But what's perhaps most jarring is that it doesn't seem to be slowing down. Fans are now digging into old interviews and past headlines, asking new questions. Were there warning signs? Did the couple's curated image leave no room for criticism? And is the backlash purely about legal action, or is it about a deeper disappointment? There's something undeniably symbolic about two of Hollywood's most admired stars, now facing criticism not from tabloids but from creators who once admired them. And for many of those creators, this isn't personal, it's about precedent. If Blake and Ryan succeed in silencing criticism through legal channels, what does that mean for everyone else who comments on public figures? For their part, the couple has reportedly begun internal discussions with their legal and PR teams about how to proceed. While no official public statement has been made, insiders suggest that some form of response may be in the works, possibly through a joint interview, social media video, or press release. The question now is, will it be enough? Public trust is a fragile thing. Once broken, it's hard to rebuild, even with the best PR team in the world. And in the entertainment industry, where audience goodwill drives everything from box office sales to endorsement deals, regaining that trust is vital. Blake and Ryan are not the first celebrities to face controversy, and they certainly won't be the last. But the way they respond, the timing of their words, and the tone they choose could determine whether this legal nightmare becomes a passing storm or a permanent scar on their legacy.